Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Jordan, and welcome to JC's Anime Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about Great Pretender, which is an anime that released back in August on Netflix, but they had only released the first 14 episodes, and then in late November of this year, they released the last 9 episodes. I actually did a video on it back in August, mostly talking about the art style of it. It has a really great art style, and going over my just a few thoughts on it. I didn't really go too in-depth with it, and I said in that video that once they release the rest of the episodes, I'll do a whole video on it. So that's what I'm here to do now, giving you my full thoughts on Great Pretender. So for anyone unfamiliar with the series, I'm going to read off the synopsis real quick. A series of unfortunate events has led Makoto Edamura to adopt the life of crime, pickpocketing and scamming others for a living. However, after swindling a seemingly clueless tourist, Makoto discovers that he was the one tricked, and to make matters worse, the police are now after him. While making his escape, he runs into the tourist once again, who turns out to be a fellow con man named Laurent Theory, and ends up following him to Los Angeles. In an attempt to defend his self-proclaimed title of Japan's greatest swindler, Makoto challenges his rival to determine the better scammer. Accepting the competition, Laurent drops them off outside a huge mansion and claims that their target will be the biggest mafia boss on the West Coast. Jumping from city to city, Great Pretender follows the endeavors of Makoto alongside the cunning Laurent and his colorful associates in the world of international high-stakes fraud. I think my favorite thing about this series is the art style. It's very vibrant and colorful, and it's probably my favorite art style of the whole year. It's just amazing. Like, it's so good. I love the art style so much. I'm not really going to go too in-depth with it here because back in August in that video, I talked about the art style and was saying how great it was. So if you want to know more or hear more of my thoughts on the art style, then go check out that video. But man, is the art style incredible. Now, as far as characters go, it's got a pretty likable cast of characters, and a lot of them are pretty interesting. And my favorite characters are Laurent, Makoto, and Abby. They're like the three main characters. While yes, there are other main characters introduced in the series, these ones are probably the most memorable and some of the best. I just really like them. I think out of all of them, Laurent's probably my favorite. He's the most interesting character. And finally, in the last 9 episodes that released, we got to look into Laurent's past and learn more about him, and I think that was really interesting. They do a flashback with most characters and spend a couple episodes kind of developing them through some flashbacks as well as what they're doing currently. But Lawrence, I think, was probably the most interesting flashback, and learning about him was probably my favorite thing about his character. I don't know, I thought that he was a really interesting character, and I really liked him. I also really like the interactions they all have with each other, like Makoto and Laurent. Makoto's trying to beat him in scamming and show that he's a better scammer, and he's constantly trying to like one-up him in scamming, but is just like never able to, and Laurent is just like so good at it. And I don't know, it's really funny. Also, the interactions between them and Abby, I think, is really funny. Abby's always kind of pissed off and is always like saying something mean to Makoto, and I really like those interactions. They're really funny. As far as the story goes, it's split up into 4 different parts, and in each part it has them scamming a new person. Also, what I really like about this anime is that the people they scam are only bad people, and it makes you like root for the main characters because they're not just like scamming some like random person who didn't really do anything to deserve it. They're scamming people that actually deserve it. So I think that that is really interesting, and it just makes you really root for all the main characters and want to see them scam these people. And overall, the story's pretty entertaining, and the stuff that they do are really entertaining. It's kind of episodic in a way where like in each part they're doing a new thing, and it kind of doesn't totally feel like a flowing story or like a normal story. It feels more like something like Cowboy Bebop. This is probably a little bit of a stretch, where Cowboy Bebop, in each episode they're basically going and doing a new thing, although in this it's every like few episodes they're going and doing a new thing, and while they're doing each new thing and scamming each new person, they develop the characters through that, and I think they did a really good job with that, and it's really entertaining. The only problem that I have with the series is the way that it ends. Now, they may make more episodes in the future, or I think they will. But the way part 4 ends is very unsatisfying and left me with a lot of questions. Leading up to the ending, I had pretty much no problems with the show. I was really enjoying it, but then the last 2 episodes get a little confusing and a little messy. Without spoiling anything, the first 3 parts lead up to part 4, and certain things come together that reveal what the main goal of Laurent and the group of scammers have. And the goal makes sense. I had no problem with the goal, but just the way they executed it and the way they ended it, the last 2 episodes just felt very messy, pretty confusing, and there were just a lot of plot holes, and it had me kind of questioning, like, what was the point of all of this? And once it got to the ending, it felt like the writers or whatever didn't know what to do anymore. It's like they wrote up to part 4 or to the ending right before the last 2 episodes and were like, what do we do now? How are we going to end this? And then they kind of just threw stuff together and it just felt really sloppy and it didn't feel like it was put together very well and just had a lot of plot holes and certain things were confusing and I wasn't a big fan of the ending. And after the credits roll, there's a tease that there might be another part. But even if they have another part, it's not really going to resolve the issues that I had with part 4 in the way they ended it. But despite the ending not being so great and a little messy, it's still a really great series with an amazing art style, great characters, and a fun story. I think if you just go in to have fun and just enjoy it, you'd probably really enjoy it. The ending isn't the best, but everything else about it I love. The characters are great, the art style, everything, just, it's really good. Definitely would recommend going and checking this one out. So I'm going to give Great Pretender an A-. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you gave it a like and subscribed, because it helps me out a lot, and it's totally free, doesn't cost anything, and I would really appreciate it. Anyways, if I don't get isekai'd, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.